Wait. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, begin. So I skipped the quiz at the start of the game, but I did it for a very, very good reason. If you don't know that you do a personality quiz and they say, oh, you're this personality trait, and then from that you get given a Pokemon based on your gender and the personality trait you get. So, what we need for the speedrun is we need someone that can hit hard and that can go through these dungeons pretty quickly. And Meowth is a pretty good choice because if you've played Pokemon before, you're familiar with the idea of stab, which is same type moves are effectively 1.5 times power, something along those lines. And stab is kind of broken in Mystery Dungeon because how the power level based of moves, it boosts up your moves by a lot, especially in the early game. And when you have normal type moves in the early game, it's just a recipe for success. Another reason why we pick up Meowth, which I'll get to later, is that it has the ability Pickup, which allows us to do some pretty crazy things. So to start this run, I'm going to do some menuing and basically do some speedrun stuff. Turn on fast speed, of course, because you need that fast speed to go fast. And if you're unfamiliar with the Mystery Dungeon concept of like what is a Mystery Dungeon genre, so it's kind of like a roguelike in the sense of you like explore a dungeon and your goal is to get through the dungeon. But other than that, it's plays a lot like an RPG. So you have your Pokemon and you can level them up, it learns moves. It's like playing a Pokemon game, but you're the Pokemon. And I was definitely drawn to that game when I first started like playing Pokemon, because I played the main games and I was like, you know, how cool would it be if I could be the Pokemon? And then I found Mystery Dungeon. But anyway, a little story update before I start talking more about the speedrun and what we're going to be seeing. We kind of just got thrown into this world. We really don't know what's going on, but we meet this good old pal Squirtle, and he's just like, "Hey, friendo, what's your name?" And then immediately after that, someone's like, "Come save my kid. I need my kid to be saved," and we saved the kid. And now we're here with no really understanding of what we're supposed to do. But Squirtle here just has this house. I don't know why he has this house, but he just has this house, and he's like, "Hey, you can stay here until you figure out what you're supposed to be doing." And we're like, sick. So here we are, forming a Mystery Dungeon rescue team. Usually, like in other marathons, we would have incentives for the names, but especially the team name is so insignificant. I don't want anyone spending money on naming their team. That's dumb. But you know what you can spend your money on is making me have to suffer through the really hard dungeons of this game, like Purity Forest and Wish Cave. If you spend $10, if you spend isn't the right word, if you donate $10 to the Flint Water Fund that we're raising money for, you will make me go through one of those dungeons, or both of those dungeons if you throw in good old $20. But anyway, enough plugging. I should probably tell you a little bit about why this category is worded in such the way it is. It's any percent no wonder mail. And that sounds like a very clunky, very weird way to form a category for a speedrun. Usually you just have, your any percent, your 100%, and like just a couple of things in between. But having a variable of using something called wonder mail or not seems very weird. And the reason why we do this is, if you've ever played these games, you can do jobs. And I'll talk about jobs a little bit later when we get to them. But basically, with Wonder Mail, you can cheat the system. You can get any kind of items you want, using any kind of job format you want. And it's messy. It's messy in the sense of, it feels like you're cheating the game through items and such. Let's see if I can hit the swag box. But anyway, so we've split off categories into using the Wonder Mail Wondermailed items and not using Wondermailed items. And I believe that the no Wondermail category that I'm doing right now is a better representation of what this game can really do, because the any percent, like pure any percent category is really just like using warp scarfs to just, you know, break the game in such a way where it's just not super appealing to watch sometimes. Anyway, enough talk about jargon with ooh, that's a lot of XP. Anyway, not too much jargon about, you know, category names. Let's get into the real meat and potatoes of this game, which is the gameplay. And I'm getting walled by this dungeon, but that's okay. So what you're going to see me do here is you're going to see me quick save the game. And this is very weird. This is not a very intuitive thing you would think to do, especially if you've played this game casually and thinking about speedrunning it. Why would I waste time in this quick save? Usually the idea of a quick save is to just, if you're doing a really long dungeon and you have to, you know, shut off your DS or like go away from the DS, you traditionally just quick save and then come back to it later. The cool thing about quick saving is that it destroys any resemblance of RNG that this game can hold for us. I'm making this look easy, but the real reason I'm making this look easy is because I know what's going to come next. The most simplest way to explain how this works is when you enter the dungeon, you get given an assigned number. And this number determines anything from how floors spawn, to what items are on what floor, to what Pokemon you're going to encounter when and where. So that is what gives this game its huge replay value, is the ability for us to just randomly generate randomly generate dungeons for us to just continue to play over and over again. But as you can imagine, it's pretty slow. Not in just terms of like randomly trying to find your way to the stairs, which is our main goal and everything, but it's just really hard to react to things in a fast manner when they're coming at you in such randomness. So we have this seed, right? We have this number. I call it a seed because it's easier to think of it that way. But when you quick save, that seed doesn't get saved. So when you reload the game, it's just like, oh, I don't know what the seed is. I'm just gonna throw a set one at you that's our fallback seed. And through that, we can really figure out what is going on in our dungeons before we get to it. Which is very nice. So now we are, story update, we've done our first mission and we don't have any more. So we're going to go to the job board to find some missions. So in this game, there's 3 types of missions. There is the traditional come help me. Cherryberry? Yeah, I can do that. There's the traditional come help me. I'm trapped. I need you to come rescue me. Which is, I guess, fine. It's a basic mission. There's another mission that's like, I really need this item, and I want you to come give it to me. So you're tasked to get a specific item and then go and rescue someone and give them that specific item. This is a little bit better than a traditional one that we usually use, because we get rid of an item that way. Excuse me. Anyway, and then the third item, or the third type of mission, which is the best mission, is find missions. I almost left the board there, but basically what find missions allow us to do is it allows us to just the idea is to go into the dungeon, find this item on this floor, and then just get out of it. And the good thing about find missions is you actually don't have to, like, actually go find the item. If you have the item in your inventory originally, you can just give them that item, and you don't have to actually go find it. So that's the fastest mission you can get. But those are obviously come with a cost, because if you don't have that item, then you're kind of screwed. And if you remember me earlier, I was kind of like, oh, can I take this one mission? And that was because I was trying to figure out if in my path, if I have that item available to me. So that, the missions give you a little bit of sense of randomness. We can't manipulate those. But anything inside the jobs, anything inside the dungeon that we're using for jobs, we can manipulate that. So now we're going to a very interesting place called Mount Steel. I'm almost certain that I can't actually show off a really flashy mechanic. Sometimes if you can what I've been doing is I've been adding up the XP that I've been getting throughout these first couple of dungeons that I've been going through, and I can actually hit a sweet spot where, on spoilers, on this boss fight that we're gonna go do in this dungeon, I can actually level up twice, which is not very easy to do. Usually, especially in like this game, you don't have many chances to have double level ups in the speedrun. And the reason why double level ups are so good is because you don't have to see that text over again saying, oh, I leveled up, I got this amount of stats. They stack on top of each other if you level up more than once. Which is something I wish Pokemon, like regular Pokemon, did, but alas, probably not happening. But I'll double check my XP and see what's going on here. Because if I have the ability to do it, then I'm gonna try to do it for you guys. So I am at 274. Oh, hello. I'm actually right in range, which is perfect. So there's a ton of tech here that I wish I could explain to you in more detail, but it's just inside the dungeons it's so fast paced and it's hard to like really talk about. But here, this is the first instance I'm gonna use pickup. So I took my item off of me and I picked up an item. That item, the Petrify Orb, is something I'm gonna be using later to save time, which is a really cool kind of tech that we can do. So another thing about the how this game works, if you quick save in another floor, the seed resets again. So we can get better layouts sometimes by quick saving, like here. I'm gonna spend time just organizing my inventory, setting my rocks. Gravelly rocks are amazing in this game. You'll see why this game is amazing in terms of gravelly rocks, especially early game, because gravelly rocks do a set damage, and that set damage sometimes is a lot better than what we can usually do. So if you see this, I killed that Belbin in such a way that I'll get the experience I need to skip from level 6 to level 8 on myself on Meowth. But yeah, like for example, the Skarmory has 65 health to it, and with our utility of rocks, the gravelly rocks, I can basically make Skarmory look like a joke. Which, to a lot of people, this fight's hard at the beginning of the game. If you don't have like a fire type or like Reviver Seeds, especially if you're like a grass type like Chikorita or Bulbasaur, this fight can give you trouble. But if you figured out what gravelly rocks are, this fight turns into a complete joke. And that is Mount Steel. Anyway, let me talk a little bit about more about why I've chosen this combo that I have. I've mentioned it before. I've talked about stab on normal type moves, which is great for the early game. But Meowth also has this ability called Pickup, and you saw me pick up an item in Mount Steel, and that is 100% on purpose. When I pick up items, my idea is to pick up items in such a way where I can A, manipulate the floors to my advantage, and B, use those items I pick up in meaningful ways. Like for example, I picked up a Petrify Orb, off of the 4th floor of Mount Steel. And I'm going to use that later in the game to save some time that I would have to, like, fight bosses. But because I didn't, I can just roll with it. And Squirtle's a little bit less of a real reason, except for the fact that he levels up kind of slow. He doesn't level up as slow as Meowth, as we've seen, but he levels up on the slower side of things, which is good because we don't want extra level up text at the end of the run. And then along with that, he also has the access to Bubble, which has the chance to lower the speed of a Pokemon. This is really good because some boss fights are infinitely easier when we can slow down the opponent using Bubble. Like, our first real boss fight of the game, Zapdos, is infinitely easier because we have Squirtle on our team. Anyway, now I'm going to go back to the job board, and I'm going to pick up some missions. Hopefully I can find some good near missions, but it's not super important. I'll take 7. Sure. I'll accept these. And let's go. So basically, this is a little bit of a downtime part of this speedrun, but basically what we have to do story-wise is we just have to start learning how to recruit things. In the speedrun, in this any % speedrun, we won't be really recruiting anything useful. The longer categories of this game definitely use it, because like Alakazam is absolutely broken in this game. But for the most part, we won't want to recruit anything. Especially in the manipulated category where we don't have a need to, like, recruit anything special. So this is definitely a point I would like to chop out of this game, but it's obviously, like, casual perspective. It's important to recruit things. Heck, there's even insane speedruns, like recruiting every single Pokemon that people have attempted, so definitely hats off to C Rule and Huma's DS for attempting recruit-em-alls of this game. Just crazy. But yeah. What am I doing next? I'm just doing a ton of missions. One thing to note that you've probably seen me do is I guess seen me not do, is you haven't seen me quick saving on anything dealing with Tiny Woods. There's a really good reason for that. It's because Tiny Woods is literally 3 floors. It's the shortest mystery dungeon. Yeah, it's the shortest dungeon in Mystery Dungeon. Or at least the Pokemon ones. And there's no point for us to have a random floor 1 and quick save for 2 floors. Because quick saving takes time. It takes about 20 seconds to quick save. So we really have to consider what is our cost benefit of like quick saving at certain points. But sometimes it's really nice to quick save more than once. Like if, like you saw me in Mount Steel, if I don't quick save on the 5th floor, the floors just get compoundingly worse. 4, 6, 7, and 8 are really bad if you don't quick save on the 5th floor. So right now I'm going to Thunderwave Cave. I should have a Cherry Berry to give, but I do have a backup if I need to grab it. See, this is what I'm talking about. The rats definitely want to join your team. And as sad as it is, we have to say no to them. Hello, can I menu? Thank you. And the cool thing about this manipulation is that you can also predict how the rescue clients move. So I'm going to be moving in such a way that I can easily and quickly kill, or not kill enemies in my way, of course, but also rescue Pokemon efficiently like this. And just like that, we are done with our 3 missions. One thing that this game tries to do to pad time, I guess padding time is not a good phrase to use, but a way for us to think that time is passing, is that it makes us do a certain amount of missions before the next thing can trigger. So, like, for example, I had to do 2 missions before I was able to go to Mount Steel. And every story-based event relies on rather finishing a dungeon or finishing X amount of missions, or both. So, what I'm doing is I did 3 missions there, which is the minimum amount of missions required for this cutscene to activate, where, you know, Gengar and them come in and take all your mail and then leave. And then after that, I have to do 2 more missions before I can move on with the story. So sometimes the missions get in the way of really progressing through the game, but it's fine. It's really annoying when you're on good pace and you have bad mission RNG, but it's like any speed game where you really just have to roll with the punches sometimes, and inherently some games will have RNG in them you have to deal with. But it's okay. Team Meanies stole our mail, and Pelipper's got our back, man. He can give us some missions. And after these 2 missions, actually, we'll go a long time without having to do missions, which is good. Oh, hello. Also, one of the bad things about using this kind of layout, using that clear map, is that it's really hard to see clients and your partner. Oh, crap, I just hit yes. That's fine. I'll just go back into Tiny Woods. It's unfortunate that I just completely zoned out there, but that's okay. And this way I can showcase that you actually need to do 2 missions for the story to progress. Yeah, that was totally intended. But anyway, beyond that, it doesn't lose me a ton of time. It's not like run ending or anything. As you can imagine, since we're speedrunning this game, mistakes near the end of the run will matter a lot more than mistakes earlier into the run. Just because of the nature of RPGs, you're underleveled going into a big fight that they expect you to be more leveled for. And like these Pokemon here give like 0 experience. Except for Execute, for some reason Execute gives you so much experience. And they're mean, they can put you to sleep. Pidgey, come back. I want you. Alrighty. Crisis averted. Just completely forgot I had to go a second time, and we're fine. So now, I'm actually going to do a couple of things before I go in here. I have to go link my moves, which is, in this game, you can actually... There's a system in which you can link moves together, which means you can use more than one move within the turn, which some people call broken, some people call makes the game trivial. But there's a little bit of drawback if you lose all your PP in one of the moves. You know, the link breaks and you have to go re-link it. So, as you can imagine in a speedrun, we're going to try to abuse this as much as possible. But we really don't have the the tools to really abuse it yet, but we're gonna start a little bit by setting our boy up, Squirtle, with the moveset he's gonna use for the majority of the game. These 3 moves linked together: Tail, Tackle, Bubble. Tail, Tackle, Bubble. Which is just good for dealing damage at this early in the game. I'll take all 4 of those. White Gummy Wanted. That's a good item. That's a good item because I can find a white gummy somewhere. I'm going to be a little greedy because I'm probably going to go back there more than one time. So anyway, we're going into Sinister Woods, and this is really the first time you're going to see me using pickup really to my advantage. You saw me pick up an item in Mount Steel, but that kind of bars in the comparison. Great floor 1, by the way. Bars in the comparison to what I want to be doing here. Hopefully I have enough item space. I'm going to double check that. Usually I do, and then of course in record attempts I would definitely not do this step, but I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping. Maybe eat an orange berry or 2. I should have enough stuff now, because I do have to pick up this white gummy here, because I need it for a mission. You're gonna see me pick up this item, and this is because I want this Pokemon right here, this Sunflora, usually is an Oddish. But since the pickup activated, it actually turned that Oddish into a Sunflora, and same here, the Silken Cascoon turned into something else. And this is all to just try to eliminate going out of my way for encounters and doing other stuff to just try to, like, just move around what's going on. And again, I'm quick saving here again, because I really want to, have decent RNG going forward. Like, the, floors 8 through 12 of Sinister Woods is kind of nasty if you only quick save on the first floor. So I just go ahead and, quick save on the 7th, and that actually gives me a really good setup for this boss fight here. To put it bluntly, if manipulation wasn't a thing, and I was at this point with these characters, this boss fight would be very rough. But because I really know what to do, and because I really understand, like, how to manipulate everyone going around, I can, this fight just turns into a breeze. And, the real reason why this is so good is because I can abuse Gravity Rocks again. And as you've noticed, Gravity Rocks are pretty overpowered. Definitely one of the better items in the early game to have a lot of. So I'm actually checking here to see if Squirtle levels up to level 10, which he doesn't. So I have a very distinct route, and RNG and when you level up actually matters a decent bit when you're going through these floors. Sometimes when you level up, your manipulation breaks, or your idea of how the manipulation works alters a little bit, and because of that, you kind of have to prepare to move in alternative ways when you get level ups in weird places. Like, for example, it didn't happen in this run, but if I got a little more experience and Squirtle leveled up on the Ekans, I would have had to move my route around a little bit to account for that. But now this game is picking up a little bit. We're going into Silent Chasm, which I like to call Silent Run Killer. And I say that not because it's really easy to die in Silent Chasm, which it's not super. It's hard to die in Silent Chasm, let's say that. But the floor layouts you could get on the first floor could be wicked hard. For the sole purpose that you could have like 20 rooms, and when I say a room is like the little like square area where like stairs are and everything is, we call those rooms, and like Sometimes Silent Chasm can give you like 4 rooms, and it's really big, which is great for speedrunners. Or they could be like 25 small rooms, which is terrible because we have to go up and down all around try to find these stairs. So hopefully I don't get trolled too hard by these rooms going forward. But we'll see, we'll see. So a little bit of a story update while I wait for this cutscene to roll out. We saved Caterpie from Team Meanies. Team Meanies, which is Gengar and all of them, basically blackmailed Caterpie into joining their team unless we saved Metapod, which was stuck in that forest. And now, Jumpluff, excuse me, I know my Pokemon, guys, I swear. But Jumpluff just kind of walked up to us and we're like, you know, Shiftry hasn't came back. I want Jumpluff back. Can you come rescue Jumpluff and Shiftry for us? And we're like, sure. Even though the Silent Chasm is a very scary place. And our stomach hurts. Quotes. We went in. So I got the very bad floor layout, which isn't good for me in any way, shape, or form. Okay, it's fine. I found the stairs decently quickly, but it's just... that floor can be deadly. That floor could lose you multiple minutes. Even at high levels of running this game, you have to be very wary of what's going to happen here. So I'm gonna grab my health item again here, because I want to get another orb that's useful to us. And in the meantime, while I'm still thinking of it, I want to turn Withdraw off of Squirtle. I forgot about that. Usually, you don't want to have your Pokemon not attack, and Withdraw, of course, doesn't attack. So, inherently, some dungeon floors... Ooh, I think I'm fine. Some dungeon floors just get pretty nasty... Oh no, I'm not fine. I'm not fine. Excuse me, coming through. Dustox, get out of my way. See, this is what I was talking about, like, your level ups can determine what you do. I've never actually leveled up in that dungeon, and I might die. No, I'm not gonna die. A good thing, it's better getting it there than getting it, like, getting it here is better, because it's actually faster to level up here than other places. Silent Chasm is very much a proponent of level ups screwing up your strats. Really, you don't have to worry about that anywhere else except for Silent Chasm for whatever reason. I think it's just because there's a very volatile system of how Silent Chasm works. Because a major difference between... Oh, I'm out of inventory space. That's no bueno. Let me just eat some berries. Usually you want to clear out your inventory in the overworld, but I've been lazy. I've completely forgot. So because I picked this up, and because I'm gonna move along the stuff this way, I'm gonna get no encounters. Which is very hard to do. That 10th floor is terrible on any given day. Anyway, we are going closer and closer to Mount Thunder. And you know what else is coming closer and closer? The finish of the run. And you know, I really want to showcase some of the hardest dungeons to you guys. So I really want you guys to think about donating to the Flint, Michigan Water Fund. They've been going without clean water for almost been 5 years now. And any little bit helps in their road to recovery. And you get two really good things happening. You can help people get clean water, and you can also see some insane speedrun tech. What else do you want? Anyway, back to the speedrun. I think it's really funny how we go about this, going through this text. Usually after we get here and we're like, hey, let's go to Mount Thunder. Team ACT, which is the really high up team, Alakazam's team, which is pictured right here. They're just like, you know, are you really sure about this? Mount Thunder is a terrifying place. Do you really want to, like, go to Mount Thunder? And we're like, usually, any person was like, yeah, we want to go. And each one of them, Alakazam, Tyranitar, and Charizard, individually ask you, are you sure? Are you sure you're sure? Are you sure you're sure you're sure? But if we just wimp out and we say no the first time, they don't ask us the other two questions. Which I just find hilarious. If you just, I call it sissy strats. You just wimp out and you get rewarded. I actually can't pick up that Switch Orb. Okay. That's a painful realization, but that's okay. So I'm doing all of this mission, like going to the board and getting missions, because I still need to do missions near the end of the game. I have to do a set of 4, a set of 3, and a set of 2. Usually when you have a set of 2, you want to do Tiny Woods, because that's the fastest. If you have a set of 3, you want to do Thunderwave Cave. And if you want to do a set of 4, you just, oh my goodness, this is terrible. If you have a set of 4, you can just go to Mount Steel. So if you noticed, I actually didn't quick save on the first floor, which yes is intentional. We need to quick save on the second floor anyway, and it might just be faster for us to, you know, just quick save on the second floor and not on the first floor. So right now, I'm gonna need 2 inventory slots. So, and the reason why I need 2 inventory slots is I'm, of course, going to... What can I... Okay, I just roster. There you go. Of course, I'm going to try to manipulate, like, RNG by picking up items, but more importantly, this is the first dungeon where you can find frustration teams, which are insane. Oh, no, I did not mean to do that. Talking. That's okay. That shouldn't be too bad. Oh, no. Don't take my seed. Anyway, back on track. These frustration teams are amazing because, you know how frustration's usually calculated in main games, right? They're usually calculated with your happiness. There's not really a measurable happiness in this game. I'm just flubbing everything. There's not really a way happiness can be calculated in this game. So the best thing they've done is use their IQ system, which is like a P&D exclusive thing. And they've basically equated that to happiness. The thing is, everyone starts out dumb. They start off with an IQ of 0. So in turn, frustration is the best move, base power it can be. But for some reason, oh no. For some reason, frustration is set to do a set amount of damage, regardless of the attack and defense of the respective Pokemon. So what I'm doing is I'm just stacking up on frustration TMs, because I'm going to need as much damage output as I can for as weak as I'm going to be. But remember when I was saying you can link moves? I'm just making sure I didn't flub that. You can actually link more than one move together, like more than one of the same moves. So I can just link frustrations until I have 4 of them. Obviously, I'm not going to use 4 on myself, because that's not optimally the best play, just because most things in this game that aren't bosses have a capped health of 9, or like 110 is about as high as it goes. But I'm gonna get as many frustration teams as I really can to just make bosses more of a joke. This is actually amazing RNG. I am quick saving on the peaks, primarily for this boss fight that's coming up. You can, like, theoretically save time by, you know, not quick saving and getting 2 stair floors, but it's just really risky. Sometimes people, like, sometimes we'll do, we won't quick save on certain, like, places, just because it's not practical to, like Tiny Woods that we've seen earlier. But for the most part, it's just not practical to let RNG take the wheel effectively. If we're doing a manipulated category, we really don't need to worry about, like, adding RNG back into the game, you know? So I was talking earlier about how the Zapdos fight becomes very interesting when we have Squirtle, and that is because Zapdos has agility. All the birds, to my knowledge, have agility. or have the ability to use agility. And it's really scary to see agility, or Pokemon use agility, unless their speed is lowered. So that bubble really helps us not have to deal with speed getting raised to a point where that's becoming a problem for our enemies. And just like that, Zapdos is down. So now, a little bit of a story update. We've gone to Mount Steel, we've conquered Zapdos, we've freed Shiftry, basically. You'll see that in a couple seconds. But, we're really, like, wondering who I am. Like, I'm asking the question, I'm having like an existential crisis over here. Like, who am I? What am I here for? Because I'm obviously sent here for a purpose. Because Gardevoir's telling me so, or this thing in my head that's causing me to dream is telling me so. So, like, who am I? I think I'm a human. I believe I'm a human. And let's just ask the most intelligent person here, and that is Alakazam. And Alakazam says, I am not the most intelligent person here. Go talk to Xatu. Which, Xatu resides on the Great Canyon. So we're gonna go to the Great Canyon. Here's a little thing to be hyped for. Great Canyon holds my favorite manipulated floor in all of any category. And I'm going to be showcasing it off because it's technically slower, but it's just too great to not show. A little tidbit, like everything that like I have an idea, like a text box of choosing. There's a good way to like phrase that. There's a good way to like respond for the lowest amount of text. Something I didn't know until recently, but different Pokemon have very slightly altered text. So I believe that what was it? Totodile and Chikorita. No, Bulbasaur. One of those. Like, there's two Pokemon that actually have text that's about 50 or 60 frames, like text box frames, slower than what the default one is, and like 60 or 50 frames faster than what the default text box is. So that's cool. Also, yeah, Great Canyon has amazing music. It's definitely like top 10 for me, at least, in terms of like how good the soundtrack is. I need to organize my inventory again because I need to pick up more items later. So let's ingest that. I'm fine for right now. There's a couple, and this is like when the manip starts to get a little complicated. Like, I'm going to go in a circle here to avoid that Noctowl. It's a very simple manip, but also one of the more, like, oh wow, like out-of-the-box thinking kind of stuff. Crap. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I have to pick this up. If I'm gonna do my strats, I have to pick this up. Anyway, this is the floor, the good old floor. I'm gonna do some loops around here until my boy Houndoom shows up, and then just go on my merry way. When you go into that dungeon, usually, like that floor on that dungeon, usually, oh my goodness, I'm flubbing movement hardcore. But usually when you enter that dungeon, that's oh, my Squirtle's getting killed, that's okay. That is okay. Anyway, that is Great Canyon. I at least didn't screw up my floor 11, which is really what I wanted to do, is to not screw that up. Anyway, here's Xatu, guys. Now we have a really important question to ask ourselves. Do we want to tickle, or do we want to tackle? And this is what I mean. Usually, like, people are zoned out at this point. If you're speedrunning this game for the first time, you're kind of zoned out at this point because, like, you can do a lot of things in the cutscenes, which is originally why I speedrun this game so much. Is that in these cutscenes, I can just idly do other things like check Twitter or, you know, watch YouTube or something. But the funny thing is, there's a text box when you first get to Xatu that it asks you how we should get his attention. Should we attack him or should we tickle him? Tickling is a lot slower. It loses you about 20 seconds from attacking, but a lot of Mystery Dungeon runners have accidentally tickled Xatu, and it's a little joke in the community where, hey, if you tickle Xatu, your run is blessed. Your run will be perfect after that point, and you'll make up the 20 seconds. But we're going for speed. Going fast is definitely faster than not going fast. And I don't want to hold B for another 20 seconds. But anyway, this is the, in terms of gameplay elements, that's the last dungeon we're going to see for about 9 minutes, which is a shame. That's okay. For the most part. We have a couple of things we need to keep track of. Primarily, oh, hello, press A. Primarily, we have to go check our missions, and we have to just hold B through a lot of the story. But one of the good things about this game is that you can literally just hold the B button to press text. You don't have to mash, which makes this one insanely better to speedrun after I learned that. Just because it's like a quality of life thing. There's a lot of text in this run. It's not good to mash for that long. But anyway, we have to go talk to Wish Cash, we have to go do a couple things. I just hope that the 6th floor Mount Steel mission is still there, like, and is decent. It's like finding a switch over. Deliver ordinary, I will take that. So now I have everything I need. I have my white gummy. All I need is to pick up the Mount Steel floor 3 in the mailbox. Cause I'm saying, you know, I have all my missions, but you're probably like, well, noob, you only have 3 Mount Steels, how are you gonna do 4? But, what you have to do is you have to check your mailbox after you get through most of the game, and there will always be a floor 3 help mission in your mailbox, which helps for us because the floor 3 mission in the Manip run is kind of on our path to the stairs, so it's easy for us to just get that guy and then go. But let me talk a little bit about how this run came to be, kind of a little history behind what this run is. Originally, when in this game's first inception of a speedrun community, it was really not much. We actually used a Squirtle starter, Charmander partner, kind of for the same ideas and reasons why we kind of use starters now, in terms of Squirtle with his slowing and just his overall bulk. Squirtle's actually a really bulky Pokemon in this game, which is great for just like surviving hits. And then we have Charmander, which learns Smokescreen at level 19. The thing about Smokescreen is I think it's the most broken move in the game, personally, because the Smokescreen, instead of lowering your accuracy, just grants you with the Whiffer status, which basically equates to you can't hit any of your moves. It's like dropping your accuracy down to 0 for a couple turns. So that can really destroy boss fights, in which, in the time where Groudon and Rayquaza were like run killers, it was insanely helpful. But after we looked at it more, after we kind of understood the game more, we realized that multi-hit moves were broken, and that a certain Pokemon that we can get has multi-hit moves. Now, that being Skitty. So Double Slap is insanely broken. If you are at a decent enough level, Skitty hits like a truck. So we kind of warped the idea of moving Squirtle to partner, and then having Skitty there for the starter. And that's what's still used in the you can call it a classic run type deal, but the run that doesn't mimic at all. And around, geez, I want to say 4 years ago now. I think it was early 2015. I could be wrong about dates, but a couple of years ago, we stumbled across a Japanese run that was 2:12, and we were like, what? The world record right now in the year 2015 is like a really high, like 2:50. How is this? Is it just Japanese that's saving the 40 minutes, or is there something else happening? And we noticed that he was going to the stairs every time, and we noticed that he was quick saving on floor 1 every time. And we eventually pieced together that if you quick save on a floor, you can predict the coming floors. So we split to quick save and no quick save. And along the way, about half a year ago, Wonder Mail got implemented into the route, and then some of us, the very few of us that run this category, I think there's like 7 or 8 on the board by now, but the people who ran this category kind of were on the fence about using Wonder Mail. It's obviously faster. The Wonder Mail world record's a 1:53, while this category's record is just a little shy of 2 hours. So it's obviously faster to use the Wonder Mail, but it just didn't feel as fun. It felt very unforgiving. So a couple of us decided to just stop using Wonder Mail, and this category got born. And from now, I'm just super excited about how low this category can go. Especially Huma's DS, he's an absolute god at these games. And he just runs at a level that's really high. Of course, there's other people that can like match up to him, but he holds almost every P&D Blue save and quit category now. But my goal is to get my time of no Wonder Mail lower than my time of Wonder Mail, which is actually closer in reach than I thought originally. Anyway, enough blabber about the history of this game. You guys probably didn't need to hear that, but I was just trying to figure out ways to kind of engage my audience a little bit during this downtime. Let me make this note that we are raising money to help the Flint water crisis right now. Oh, I need to press A. They haven't gone without clean water for a while, at least from their tap, and we are trying to raise some money to help in whatever way we can. I'm actually gonna go to check the shop, but anyway, continuing the plug. We're trying to raise some money to help their needs, because it's really hard to live your life with that kind of restrictions. If you think about it, you need to like boil your water to drink it, you need to do all these sorts of things. Anyway, and it's hard to live like that. So any money that we could send their way would be very, very helpful. Oh, I need to... Oh, hello. I need to talk to Squirtle. And hey, if you donate $10, I will be going through one of the historically hardest dungeons of this game to get through, like Purity Forest and Wish Cave, and make them look like cakewalks using the manipulation. So if you really want to see that, throw some money to our way, and let's get that happening. Anyway, we are at the point where it's anyway, we're getting to like the feels part of this game. I really like, this is my like favorite part of this game personally, just because it's like you feel like you're kind of outcasted, right? Everyone's just like, yeah, let's put them down. Let's fix this by taking them out. And then when you're about to leave, every one of your friends, like Diglett, Metapod, Caterpie, Jumpluffs, all come here to send us out. It's just a very wholesome moment, in my opinion. Which one do I hate less? I hate... This is a very loaded question. So, Wish Cave is flashier. But I have... Like, Wish Cave is a little flashier, in my opinion. There's a little bit more to showcase there. But Purity Forest is definitely the hardest of the two, which makes me not like it as much. But, you know, it's one half dozen the other. I've done more Purity Forest attempts than Wish Cave attempts just because, in the All Icons route, which is our, like, end game plus, whatever you want to call it, post game plus category, we have to do Purity Forest, but not Wish Cave. So Lapis Cave is unique in the way that quick saving breaks this more than any other dungeon, in my opinion. You're gonna see me fight, I think... Yeah, you're gonna see me actually fight 0 Pokemon in this entire dungeon after the first floor, which is just kind of crazy to think about. Oh, I didn't get a growl there. That's surprising on my end. Because, like, Lapis Cave is meant to be, like, this long dungeon that kind of eases your way into this... I call this the fugitive segment, because you're literally fugitives for the next 5 or 6 dungeons that we're going to go through. But it's a long dungeon that really just gets broken by the mechanics of quick save, because it's just, if you quick save on floor 1, you kind of set yourself up to just blaze through the rest of this dungeon, which is kind of nice in my opinion. It's very boring, don't get me wrong. But I like it because it just showcases how terrible, or how great, excuse me, this the manip can set you up for success. So I'm going to do a little bit of overworld housekeeping right now before I enter Mount Blaze. It's like we get a little, like, time where we can, like, kind of move around, check the Kangaskhan Rock if we had stuff to pick out, etc., etc. But, item management is very important in this run, as you could tell, because I haven't been paying attention to item management as much. I've been having to manage it inside the dungeon, which is very clunky, because you can't really trash any of the items. You can't really throw them out in a dungeon, but if you're in the overworld, you can throw out as much stuff as you want. This plain seed. Yeah, that's fine. I'll keep a max elixir too, just in case stuff goes kind of sour, but I don't expect that to happen. Oh, hello, that's stairs. Alright, I need a very important question. Actually, do we go for swag or do we go for safety? That's what I want to see. That's what I want to know right now. Now, obviously, I wouldn't be going for swag if I knew it could possibly end my run, but I have a very good grasp that I'm going to be able to finish even if I go swag route. Oh, hi Torkoal, how's it going? I got the Pokétext, very cool. See, you can see how Smokescreen interacts now. Look at that. He just misses all 3 of his attacks. It's just so broken. And that is Mount Blaze. I'm actually going to safety save here, just in case I just absolutely get destroyed by some Fearos here. I remember when I was talking earlier about how... Oh, never mind. How multi-hit moves are broken. Well, Fearo has something called Fury Attack, which, if you've played Pokemon before, you know is a multi-hit move. So it's nice that we didn't have to deal with that. We'll see one more Fearow, but it doesn't touch us with our manipulation. You know, screw it. I brought an extra Reviver Seed for this. We're going swag. This is like the only time when, like, at least in my opinion, when going for runs where losing a Reviver Seed for a little bit of extra time is worth it. Because in this next dungeon coming up after we fight Moltres, we'll have access to finding Reviver Seeds on the ground, which is amazing. So we'll just hoard some Reviver Seeds in these next 2 dungeons that we face. But right now, we're fighting Moltres. I bet Squirtle's going to be super helpful in this. I can already tell he's a water type. We're facing a fire type. It's going to be perfect. Squirtle, are you going to help me? Squirtle. Bro, just like use your bubble or something. Slow him down. Oh no, I lost a seed. Squirtle, come. I think I'm struggling here. Squirtle, are you gonna come help me out? I guess not. Just for a little context, Squirtle doesn't have any sort of damage output yet, and it's a lot faster. It's actually 16 seconds faster. 16.1 seconds faster to just run up to Moltres and spam Frustration in his face. Because Squirtle does, like, at this point I'd like to say, like, probably 5 damage with his bubble. Not less than that. So just hitting Moltres for 90 a turn with those really quick Frustration animations, just more time efficient. And it's funny that I think I can just leave Squirtle behind and have Squirtle watch while I go decimate this bird. Anyway, we're gonna get a little bit of story stuff. Squirtle thinks we're safe. Squirtle thinks we're just good old fine dandy safe. But we're gonna go talk some sense into him for a second. We're just gonna be like, yo, bro. You think that we're safe? What about Alakazam and Team ACT? They've probably gotten over Moltres, especially after we weakened them. Weakened Moltres with our frustration of being chased along this path. Just so frustrating that we can't talk some sense into them. You feel me? But anyway, Frosty Forest is another one of those dungeons in which we can find frustration TMs talking about frustration. So I'm definitely going to use this to my advantage in terms of just getting some more frustrations under my belt to just speed up boss fights. I'm not going to probably need any more as Meowth, because I'm already hitting for 90 a turn. That covers 90% of what we have to fight in this game. The only thing that won't die to this is things in the pits of both the last 2 dungeons, which are designed to be more challenging, you know. So I'll be fine there, but you know, Squirtle needs something to just hit with, you know. Squirtle just needs something to defend himself, you know, because sometimes he just, if you've seen before, he just kind of tags along and he just, you know, gets ripped to shreds. You remember that Houndoom that took his life? Yeah, man. If he would have been able to defend himself, he could have killed him. So our goal in this dungeon is to just get Squirtle that shiny new toy of the Frustration TM. And, like, going back to, like, how the manipulation works, sometimes things are very finicky. Just in how people move sometimes. Like, there's some movements that you would think, oh, it's not super important that he moves specifically like this, he just has to get to the stairs. But then sometimes, like, after killing that Azurill, I had to move diagonally there. If I didn't, I would have had to fight another Pokemon. So it's little stuff like that that like you have to really be aware of when you're playing this game or speedrunning this game. Another little cool little thing, Easter egg, I guess. It's not an Easter egg, but a cool little fact. So this is the only time in the game where you have to mash buttons. So usually you hold B to progress text, right? But in this specific cutscene where Articuno is kind of like, you know, oh lord, he coming. We have to mash through that. Which is very not intuitive sometimes. Just trying to figure out like when we have to mash or not. But that's the only time in the game. Or main game at least. Oh hey look, frustration TM. Yeah, that's the only time in the main game where we have to really worry about mashing buttons, which is nice. So we achieved our goal of giving Squirtle that shiny new toy. And don't mind my garbage movement. And that is Frosty Forest. Now on to the peak. This is when we can really bank some Reviver Seeds, and this is a garbage floor layout, I see. Oh, I did not mean to do that. That's okay. Water gun. Pish posh. We don't need no water gun. We have frustrations on our side. Alrighty, so remember when I picked up that Petrify Orb? You couldn't see it was a Petrify Orb because I'm only using one screen. But I picked it up in Mount Steel earlier. This is where I want to use it. In this second floor, there's going to be a lot of Matangs. You see, that's a lot of Matangs. A lot equals 2. So we're just going to use this Petrify Orb to, you know, just go by them. And just go on our way. That's a Reviver Seed we picked up, by the way. So, okay. So here's a little thing about the RNG. Behavior of your opponents of the other Pokemon kind of are influenced by the behaviors you do. So like, if you have ever watched a Pokemon speedrun, like main game Pokemon speedruns, they move in certain ways and they do certain inputs in certain ways to progress RNG stuff. And sometimes when like you tell the game, hey, I'm doing this move, the game tells you, okay, I have to check X, Y, and Z, and because I'm checking X, Y, oh, that's not what I want to do. Because I'm checking X, Y, and Z, I'm going to have to, like, progress RNG a certain way, which very so slightly changes how bosses behave. And this Articuno is scary. If you ever play this game casually, you know that, like, it has powdered snow, it has some scary moves. But, because frustration doesn't check if you crit, because you can't crit with a set base damage move, the burb just doesn't, like, attack you, or it doesn't attack you in meaningful ways. It's just how the manipulation works. And that's really nice for us, so we don't have to, like, deal with losing seeds to this guy. So now, here we get good old partnered player 3. You know, remember when like you went to like your friend's house and you and your other friend like would play games with like your third friend, and you would have like 2 decent controllers, but then you would have that like really bad off-brand third controller. That really bad off-brand third controller is Absol. Absol's just kind of there. We can kind of, actually, we can do more than kind of just ignore his presence. We have to like bring him along with us. But I'll show you this really cool trick that, like, if you've played through this game and you really don't like playing with Absol, I can show you how to just not play with Absol, because Absol is significantly slower to just babysit than to try to find a way to get rid of him. There's actually 2 different ways you can do that. You can let him die, because Absol really doesn't need... Absol's not part of your core team. You don't need him to survive for you to progress. Like, the game acts like he does, but if he dies and you have no seeds, it's fine. But, that's usually slow because you have to, like, let him attack something, let him find something that he can actually die to, and, like, walk him through the process of dying. Or, you can just do something really cool before you even enter the dungeon to get rid of him, which it sounds really bad at first, but, like, it's okay. He's not gonna go away forever. I mean, if I go back to the save file after I beat the game, he still will be there. But Absol's just kind of slow, and I'm gonna show you what needs to be done. So Mount Freeze is the last dungeon of our quote-unquote fugitive segment that we are going through, and it's a hike. It's 15 floors plus 5 on the peak. But, you know, killing Absol, now that I think about it, is kind of like inhumane. Like, I don't want to kill the guy. He's kind of cool. Do I really have to kill him? Can I just, like, you know, say let him? Can I just let him go? Oh, I can let him go. Sick. So you can actually just tell him to go on standby, and he just won't go into the dungeon for you. I am notorious for forgetting to do that in runs. I'll pick up this up, actually, because that's something I need. Pineco, please. Oh, this is Fury Attack. Fury Attack. No. You can see. Oh, no. It took 2 seeds. What the heck? I just want these stairs. Let me eat some plain seeds, actually. It's good on the fiber. I have 0 Reviver seeds. I'm glad that I picked them up then. Anyway, I'm gonna get more seeds here, so it'll be fine. I am running low on them, though, which is a very weird thing. I'm usually not in the position where I'm, like, losing a ton of Reviver seeds, you know? Anyway, I picked up that, the link box, so I don't actually need to pick this up. I'm gonna need the link box later. But, I'm not gonna need to use it now. There's not another good time we're gonna get frustration anytime soon, so we're gonna hold off on getting scoreless second frustration till later. This music, I like the Mount Freeze music. I feel like it's an unpopular opinion, but at the same time, I think everyone thinks all PNB music's good. Its music's just so calming. Except for, like, the snow appearing every single floor. But I'm actually gonna, like, I can actually get a lot of Reviver seeds here as well if I take this item right here and put it in my inventory. Yeah, this is, like, of course this is slower picking up the seeds, but it's actually really helpful to, get some seeds, because I'm gonna need it. Now I can actually, in the peak, Absol actually comes back. So I'm actually gonna send Absol home again, because I really don't want to deal with Absol. Sorry, Absol fans, but it's hard. So I can get, yeah, I can get an extra Reviver seed here, actually. Because, how pickup works is it picks up a random item that you could possibly find on the floor at any given time. So I'm actually going to take my orange berry off here, and I'm going to pick up a Reviver seed here. Which is actually pretty cool. I like this pickup mechanic, because it allows you to pick up some really cool stuff. Like, for example, a Reviver seed. And that is Mount Freeze Peak. Even though I'm like 15 or 16 levels higher, going through this dungeon for missions over again is actually not going to really change much. So I'll be able to show that off in a very interesting way. Sorry about that. I think my mic accidentally got muted for a while. It was unfortunate, but it shouldn't have been long. So if you've been having a good time, we actually do have our own little Discord to really just help people that want to learn this game, or people that just want to hang around in community and show up to people's streams who do run this game. We actually have a lot of runners right now that are decently active. So if you want the link to that, DM me on Twitter, or at me on Twitter, at Likeanoob100, or go to any of the mods. If you go to the speedrun.com page, it's also there. So there's many ways to join if you want. And if you do love this game, if you like this game, if you played this game as a kid, there's definitely a community out here for you if you want to participate in it. Anyway, now it's back to the good old days. I'm gonna just double check that I have my T-Wave Cave missions, which I do. It's time for me to go do those. Excuse me. Anyway, in terms of just getting missions done to progress the story, you usually want to go to the dungeon that corresponds with the amount of missions you need to do. It's usually like how many floors there are in a dungeon -1 is the theoretical amount of mission objectives you can pick up. Tiny Woods being the one that has 2, Thunderwave Cave being the one that has 3, so on and so forth. No, I do not want to leave. I don't want to make that mistake again. So right now, I'm actually going to go to my menu and scratch this guy, because then it checked to see if it was a crit, it's gonna do the same movement as I did the first time I was there. And this doesn't matter, I guess. Usually you scratch because it's faster, but going into the menu wastes time. Even though I did both, I went to the menu, then just frustrated, but it's fine. This was a pretty standard. Now it's time to go to our next one that we're going to. We're going to Uproar Forest, which if you've played this game, you've kind of understood what Uproar Forest does. In order for you to get through Uproar Forest, you have to, like, basically get lucky. And if you don't get lucky, you have to go through it again 3 or 4 times. So that, if you can imagine, that's a nightmare in the non-manipulated category. But of course, with our use of manipulation, we can make sure we only have to go through Uproar Forest once, which is so nice. It's like, it's hard to express how happy all of us are that we don't have to deal with trying to get 2 chestnuts in one run of Uproar Forest, which is what the flag is to go to the next place, is to feed Mankey 2 chestnuts. But I'm getting way ahead of myself. We haven't even gotten to Uproar Forest yet. But here we have another Gardevoir talk. We understand it's Gardevoir now. The voice inside our head is Gardevoir. And we're getting just a lot of lore with, like, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to save the world, I guess. It's every, like, you know, RPG story. We have to go save the world. I think at this point for that role, you have to become a Pokemon. We know what the role is. We don't know what the role is. We know we have a role. But this is actually when I'm going to pick up that Mount Steel mission that I was talking about earlier. Get in here. And now I am 100% done with missions. I just need to keep an orange berry in my inventory and a white gummy in my inventory. So now, why not Wobbuffet are just like, hey, you should go check out the you should go check out what's on the board. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Alright, there's something cool that's going over there. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So we're gonna go check out the board because, like, you know, when someone tells us they have a mission and they, like, come up to us and say that they have a mission, we just gotta accept it, man, you know? And look at that. We have a mission to floor 10 of Uproar Forest. Punish Bad Mankey. And that grants us access to go into Uproar Forest. So the gimmick, I guess, if you want to call it a gimmick of Uproar Forest, is that it has crazy weather. You won't actually see, I don't think you'll see any of the crazy weather in this run, specifically. But I think every single type of weather you can have is available in Uproar Forest. Don't ask me why, don't ask me how. It do what it just be. Sometime it be like that. But like, one of the crazy things with the weather is that if you ever played PMD games before, even like tried to play them at a fast rate, weather just is super annoying because then you have to sit there and take damage, and it's a long animation, and it's just disgusting. I'm glad that they fixed that in Sky and then the games after Sky. But like you see here, there's rain for whatever reason. That's okay. Rain doesn't deal damage to us, so we're fine in that department. Actually, I want to check if I have an orange berry. I do, but I need to, you know, clear up inventory space. Let me just eat this raw berry. I don't need it. There you go. Oh, bonkers. That's okay. I'm gonna take my revive seed off my person right now. And picking up that pickup, just the, not even like picking up items, but just the ability to pick up items sometimes changes RNG for the better. And in this case, like, those 2 floors were kind of slow if you didn't use pickup there. But because you had the ability to do pickup there, it makes your life a lot easier here. So the goal of this floor is to get 2 chestnuts. We've picked up 1 from our pickup ability, which is really nice. But we really have to get a second one, and both of them are in bad locations in general. But we've had some idea of how to just, you know, get through it without really having to fight much. So that's a very precise floor. Oh boy. Okay, I'll just get it later. I'll get it later. Usually what you want to do is you want to pick up your chestnut right here so you don't have to menu in the overworld. But I obviously didn't menu correctly in beforehand, so it's whatever. So now we are nearing the tail end of this run. And you know, to my knowledge, we still haven't met the incentive to do some crazy post-game runs. I want to do some crazy post-game runs. I bet you guys want to see them too. So consider it, if you have the ability to donate to a good cause, donate to help get Flint, Michigan back on its feet in terms of water quality, consider donating to this marathon. It would mean a lot to all of us. You think it's been met? Let's see. I haven't gotten any things about that. The site says so? Well, if it says so, then we're doing it. I haven't gotten any word about it, so I trust everybody. You donated? I haven't been getting any donation stuff, so excuse me for that. But if we have been getting donations, then I appreciate the donations you guys have been doing. Usually they would tell you, or they'll like read them off, but I don't know. That's okay then. I appreciate everyone's donation then. But anyway, back to the speed run. Sorry, I'm selling out hard because I really want to do these things that I've practiced. But like it's you need to do 2 things in order to progress the story back to its like a story mode part of it. You need to complete your rebuild of this house, and you need to do 4 missions in total. So the idea was, you know, accept Upper Forest missions, go back to the Upper Forest, get chestnuts, do everything like that. So right now I'm gonna just menu a little bit. I don't need this gravelly rock. I don't need all these orange berries. What the heck? Don't need a blast seed. And I'm going to first complete my house, because that's already kind of done. I have both my chestnuts. I have everything that is going good for me. Let me just take this from me right here, because like a weird thing about this game is it only checks your inventory, it doesn't check your held items. So you actually need to have the things in your inventory, the items in your inventory, for them to count towards anything. So I just have to talk to them twice. They only do 1 at a time for whatever reason. This sound effect's good. Just look at it. It's a little cat. It has a little tail on its mailbox. It's so good. At one point, when we would use Wonder Mail to just Wonder Mail in frustrations, we would use Machop. And if you have a minute, just like look up Machop's mailbox. It's so good. It's just a mailbox with his flexing arm on it, on the side of it. It's one of the best things that I've seen in this game. So now, I have to go and do 4 missions. I'm gonna just make sure I have 4 missions going here. These 4 missions are gonna be rough, and it's not any sort of our fault. Getting 4 missions squeezed into Mount Steel, especially with Mount Steel's, let's just say, its willingness to be badly laid out with very poor choices of movement. And when I mean that, I mean, like, you can probably go from point A to point B, and there's only one way you can go there. There's not really many branching paths that you can take in Mount Steel. I don't know if that was unintentional or just how it happened, but it just happens that way. You're going to see me do stuff that's slightly different than what I did the first time, and that's because I'm trying to get my way in terms of, like, getting Pokemon. Like, I can just attack, like, get this guy right here, and it's in my direct path. Okay, whatever. Let me scratch you. That's fine. Okay, and I picked up that item already, so I can get my Petrify Orb again here. But unlike the last time, I'm actually not going to quick save right here, because I'm going to do a very precise movement here to get this rescue. Hi, Execute. How's it going? Might have been 1 turn too early. No, never mind. So all of that was to get the thing and set up for this dungeon where I just have to rescue the Beldum, and then I'm done, and then I can leave. So this is actually really good 4 missions for me. I didn't have to go to the 8th floor, and I kind of had a decent floor 1, as decent as Mount Steel floor 1s could get. That weren't stair floors. So we are smooth sailing in terms of that regard. We are done with 4 missions. Now we just have a little bit of text to scroll through, and then another mission set, and then we can go on with the story. Let's just see what's happening. And we know that some Pokemon went to see if we can simmer down Groudon, because he's forcing some earthquakes, and we don't like that. We don't like that at all. But we'll see how they're doing. They have to be doing okay. Those earthquakes are just like Groudon settling down, right? Of course, there's no way that Team ACT will fail. Am I right? Or am I right? Oh wait, they're just taking their sweet time, aren't they? They're not back yet. Should we be concerned? I think we should go. I think we should go rescue them. That'd be the protagonist thing to do, don't you think, Squirtle? So, wait, Lombre, what? This is our story. Aren't we supposed to be the one that comes in and saves everybody? So, Lombre basically told us no. Not today, my friend. So basically, I remember back in the days where this run wasn't super refined yet, I basically was on a really good pace run for the time, but I didn't have both 2 missions lined up for me, which made me really mad when Lombre just was like, nope, you're not going today, you just have to do 2 missions, haha. I don't want to like bash this game and saying it's like I don't want to bash this game in general because this game's amazing. You should all play this game if you haven't played this game before. But it's just like missions always feel like filler. Oh, hello. And that's just like a critique of a game. That's not like me bashing it because like this game is amazing. Especially the post game of this game. Hi, Execute. Are you gonna put me to sleep? No, I'm supposed to save you. Stop running away from me then. That's okay. So a little bit of tech, I guess if you want to call it tech, is that it's actually faster if you right by the stairs to go through the stairs than to get beamed up. Because getting you and your partner to beam up like that is actually significantly slower. So now the time has come. We are going to go to Magma Cavern, which actually, I have a soft spot for Magma Cavern purely because I reworked this dungeon to get like really efficient in terms of getting through the dungeon. Because we had like floor 1 quick save strats, or I guess floor 2 quick save strats that were decent enough for us to get through the game at first, but it really like wasn't sufficient in my mind, especially when we manipulate and do anything. We can really just like get any item we want as long as the item is present in the dungeon. So I kind of like reworked it around, and I actually picked up a really good item that I guess I can talk about right now. The Warp Scarf. So the Warp Scarf is actually a really gimmicky item, purely for the fact that it's 100% random usually. So like usually you just walk some steps, you warp to a random spot, you walk some steps, you warp to a random spot, and it's supposed to just like, you know, be a super gimmick item that no one would really want to use. But when you can predict exactly where the Warp Scarf can go, it becomes super broken. And in the last 2-ish dungeons of this game, we'll actually be able to really see how Warp Scarf changes the category landscape. And this is one of the big reasons behind a separation of Wondermail and no Wondermail, is because you can get a Warp Scarf from day 1 of Wondermail. After you get to Thunderwave Cave, you put in Wondermail codes, you do the missions, and then you get the Warp Scarf, and then you can immediately start warping around and breaking the game. For this category, though, the fastest way you can get a Warp Scarf is by finding it in Magma Cavern. So what we can do is we can find one in Magma Cavern, and then we can just start using it from there. So now I'm actually going to go pretty safe here because I'm going to go check the shop for Reviver Seeds. Even though this is like super slow, it's going to be for safety's sake because I don't have as many Reviver Seeds as I would really want to have. And I also have a really bad inventory. Don't need this anymore, don't need this anymore, this anymore. I really don't need max elixirs anymore. I'm going to leave one for safety's sake, I guess. But the more items I can throw out, the better. So now, I'm all ready to go. We are about to enter probably the dungeon that most realistically can kill my run because of RNG. Because, how this is gonna work is I'm probably gonna not quick save on the first floor, and then quick save on the second floor, and the third floor. Because the second floor that you get when you manipulate is really bad, actually. We used to use it for safety's sake, but we really didn't understand the idea of just rolling with the RNG and just hoping we got another stair floor. And so we've started to incorporate those into world record attempts. If my floor one's super bad, I'll quick save on it, but I don't see that happening. And a little bit of like what's happening in my mind right now in terms of like me being Meowth is that Gardevoir is supposed to tell me what my role is after this thing, and I'm already getting the sense of an idea that after I accomplish my goal, I have no use of being here anymore, which like is really scary because like you started to learn to love how to go into this place. That's a really big floor layout right there. That's perfect. Hi, Sandshrew. Like I said, I'm not going to quick save on this floor, but I might quick save on the second floor. Actually, you know, screw it. I'm going to quick save on the third floor. You get your little kick of what a no Wonder Mail run would be like, and that is a seed. See, like, you can kind of see how much the difficulty is ramping up just in terms of, like, how hard you're getting hit. Because, like, that, if you're Meowth, that double kick usually takes off 2 Reviver Seeds, which is crazy. But it's part of running this game is understanding that you're very frail. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of questionable movement, and you're probably, if you've never seen this category before, you'll like be like, why is he moving this way? But alas, I assure you, this is all because there's so many Pokemon in these dungeons. Like, the main difference between Rescue Team and Explorers is that Rescue Team spawns a lot more Pokemon. So you kind of have to, like, be weary of that when you play. Especially when you're doing the non-manipulated route, you need to be really good at moving efficiently as well as quickly, so you don't have to fight as many things. So here, I'm actually going to pick up TM, which is something I didn't realize that you could do until really trying to find frustration TM places. So we're going to say bye-bye to the linked moveset, and we're really going to let Squirtle embrace the double frustration. And this is the floor. This is the floor that everything's gonna change, because in this little town floor, we will find a good old Warp Scarf to use, and this changes everything. If you're not paying attention, you should probably pay attention right now to just see what's happening. You've seen some crazy stuff, but have you ever seen a warping cat before? I don't think so. This is all pre-planned. This is all, like, me figuring out what I have to do to teleport in certain ways. And sometimes it's really dumb. Like, this is just really dumb. And, like, that 19th floor was really dumb. And like that, we are done with the Magma Cavern area, but we still have the pit. We still have the good old pit. And this is when that safety save is going to be really helpful. I'm actually going to... Oh no, what should I do? I should probably fight these things, come to think of it, because Squirtle is going to be a rough camper if I don't do this for him. So I still have the Warp Scarf on, keep in mind, so I'm going to just start... I'm going to set Squirtle's IQ or tactics to get away. I'm going to start exploring with the Warp Scarf. I'm going to hope to, like, teleport into different rooms besides these two. Yes, yes, no, no, hello. Sometimes this backfires. You can see that it's backfiring right now, but it's just, it's so funny to do. And then when you get to a point where you like know where the stairs probably are. Oh no, what's going on? Okay, you. This is what I would call a very bad floor, because the stairs are probably what? Oh, they're right there. I see now. I might actually die to ooh. I might die to Groudon. This might be close. But well, the glorious thing is that I saved, so I actually don't have to, you know, worry about like dying and losing a run. I can just die and then reset. Which, geez, I don't know how many seeds I have. I probably have like 1 at most, which is not particularly fun, but that's okay. We have to roll with the punches, you know. Anyway, the reason why, if you can't tell already, the reason why we didn't quick save there is because this is Magma Cavern Pit is literally 1 floor, so it would be useless to quick save unless we wanted to manipulate Groudon in such a way. But honestly, it's just easier for me to like throw rocks and just pray that he doesn't kill me. And Groudon was really nice to me. He scary faced me and attacked me. And it looks like it has been updated now. We have met both incentives, which is crazy. I hope I can still stay within estimate stuff. I probably will be able to. I'll just finish this run and then instantly hop onto my save file I have for both Purity Forest and Wisp Cave. But we're on the tail end of everything, guys. We have Sky Tower left. Hopefully I have enough money and seeds in the bank to get me through it. I should. There's no reason for me not to. So now we have, let's set the stage. We have one hurdle left to go. We have one thing to do. We have to go climb Sky Tower and we have to defeat the meteor that's about to enslave onto this earth. Its wrath. We have to stop it. You see that shooting star? That's the meteor. It's not any old shooting star, it's a meteor. Alright. Let's just hope that we can do it with good old pal, starring the lovable, the cuddly, teleporting cat, and his turtle companion. The time has come. Let us begin. The start of something great. This is by no means a good run in terms of just thinking of what has happened, but we're getting Reviver Seeds, which is all I care about. Which means I have one Reviver Seed. It's gonna be a little rough, but that's okay. I gotta think about times where I can die. I shouldn't. I'll just have to be on edge for a lot of things. That should be already anyway. But anyway, Sky Tower, I think Sky Tower is a perfect representation of what this run can be like. Or what, like, if you need to like, show somebody at least one part of this run and be like, this is what this run's about, I'd say Sky Tower is a pretty good representation of what this run could be like. Anyway, story-wise, real quick, Gengar's trying to be a butt, and Gardevoir's going to be too powerful from my boy Gengar. There we go. Foiled yet again, Gengar. Yeah, good story. Gengar is a redeemable character, though. If you play through the post game, he'll come back around. But in the story, in the main game, he's kind of just a little butt. Which I mean, you have to have that one character that like is the antagonist, right? Because like in a save the world scenario story, you rather have like a baddie, like a bad guy that's like the main reason why the world is ending, or the world is in jeopardy. But in this game, it's a literal meteor. There's like no other reason around it. I'm actually gonna check the shop one more time because I need seeds badly. Should have enough. Oh, that's sell. I don't want to sell. I want to buy. And I don't have enough. I don't have no reviver seeds in here. That's okay. Let's go to good old Sky Tower. This music is hype. Sky Tower music is the best music in the franchise. Don't at me. Just so it's so light, but it also gives you this sort of intensity that you need in the last dungeon of a video game. Alrighty. Let's get this going. One reviver seed, one teleporting cat, and we're ready to go. We're going all out. We're gonna be basically going light speed in the last probably 10 or 15 minutes of this run. I might not be talking as much just because this is a decently stressful scenario. But hope you guys enjoy Sky Tower. Of course I'm not going to be super silent because that's dumb. Why would I do that? And Lunatwin almost already taking my seed. That's unfortunate. Okay, make a quick save, and I definitely need to like heal before going. 23 health is what we're looking at right now. What we need to be. I'd want to be somewhere higher, but we'll see how long we can hold off enemies for. Look at that. So we got a warp orb at some point. This is where we're using it right here. Very good item. Very, very good item. And if I haven't expressed this before, using the warp scarf is a risk within itself. Just because if you mess up movement just a little bit, you could be in for a world of hurt. Just for the sole fact that, like, it's hard to recover from something like that, because how the teleportation works is where you teleport and when and it's determined by, like, what tile you're sitting on and how many tiles you've moved since teleporting the last time, or in some cases just when you spawned on the floor the last time. So I have to move in certain directions where I'm moving a certain amount plus moving to a certain spot on the map in order to teleport to a certain location. And this is just going to be really doing some really safe strats just to avoid getting hit. It looks very, very weird, but it works most of the time. Taking this off for right now. Sometimes you have to just take it off because it's easier to, like, you can't actually get to these stairs. Unless you just took the scarf off and put it back on. And all these strats required a heck of a lot of testing from all of our save and quit, from some of our save and quit runners that taken on the task to try to optimize this category, and like most save and quit categories in general. It's a daunting task sometimes, especially when you have to like factor in how you can warp and all the different mechanics you can do. And this is the only time in the any percent run where you warp 3 times to get to the stairs. It's fast, so it's whatever. Also, I'm gonna regular attack here and like look really dumb, but it's actually so you don't warp away from the stairs, which is incredibly important. I'm gonna style a little bit because I need him to get some health going. Just for safety's sake, because he needs to be a certain health to get not killed by this Pokemon coming up here. That's just for safety's sake. We got through it. We're on the final one, guys. Oh my god. Okay, Aerodactyl, you need to be dealt with. A lot of these Pokemon in this peak are no pushover. A lot of the time they don't. Oh my goodness, Claydol. This is gonna pain me if I die to this. Do I have a wait there option? I don't. Okay, those are the stairs. We're almost there. Let's get going. This is super tense. I'm gonna have to play perfectly. Let's heal a little bit if I can do that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I have to freestyle a little bit. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, right, down, left, up, left. That is by far the weirdest movement we have to do in the any percent category. It's just very unintuitive. Very weird, honestly. So that gold ribbon we picked up in earlier in this dungeon is actually going to serve a purpose, because I'm going to actually equip it right now. in order to, like, it's really hard to warp and get into these stairs, like especially when you have that following you. Just want to make sure I don't screw this up. There we go. Okay, this is gonna be a very interesting strat you're gonna see here. So, Rayquaza is no joke. It's very hard for you to get through this fight without losing a seed, especially if you don't have any broken mechanics working towards you. And we don't really have any broken mechanics towards us, but we do have RNG manipulation on our side. And I'm going to use some fancy footwork tactics to, oh my goodness, tactics, get away, get away, get away. And that is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Blue Rescue Team, and time. Of course, this time isn't super reflective of what this run actually is, because it doesn't include the 4 minutes after this fight, and the, like, minute or so for quiz and stuff. But, like, this was a 206, probably with not great movement and not great stuff. But that's okay. I really appreciated this run. And you don't have to watch this cutscene. I apologize. But we're going to go straight into our incentives, since I have to do both of them and I have to get done in a reasonable time. So, here's a little thing. So if you've ever played this game before, there's usually a dungeon or two that is designed to be really challenging. Like, super challenging. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 of those dungeons right here, right now for you guys. First one I'm going to do is Wish Cave, and if you don't know Wish Cave, basically, I'm going to talk about it a little bit as I go, but your idea is you start at level 1, and you have to go through the dungeon starting at level 1, and building yourself up from there. So there's usually 2 ways you can do this. Okay, usually what you can do is you can just kill things, like I just did, or you can trying to use teleport around and just trying to RNG your way to the stairs, and that's what I'm gonna do, except I know what the RNG is for. Yeah, I should frustrate this. I need to use all of my teleports. So I'm going to quick save on the second floor, and this is when the stuff actually begins. If you've noticed, I've teached one of my frustrations to Alakazam. That's only going to be used a couple of times, primarily to kill Jirachi at the end of this super bad dungeon. But the idea behind this dungeon is you have to go through 99 floors, and you get to wish for something at the end. So you have an incentive to try to beat this crazy hard dungeon by getting a reward at the end of the day. And this dungeon is notorious for being hard. It's not as hard as, say, Purity Forest, because you can actually take your own items into it, which is really nice. But it's still hard because the Pokemon you are there Pokemon you meet here are insanely hard. So you've already seen me do this, but sorry, I just like brain farted on what I'm supposed to do. But anyway, you've already seen me kind of do this, but I'm teleporting around a decent bit. And just like the Warp Scarf, the move Teleport works in the same fashion. So that allows me to like really understand how I can use Teleport, because Teleport's so much more malleable in use than the Warp Scarf is, because you don't have to worry about like when you're gonna warp away or something like that. And I want to stress that you can do this too. anyone can boot up their port of Blue Rescue Team, and as long as you're playing Blue Rescue Team, you can do exactly what I'm doing, and it'll work for you as well as working for me right now. Red Rescue Team has a little bit of differences, and you also have to hard reset your game if you're going to try to do the manipulation, but it still kind of works on Red Rescue Team too. So just like that, we've done our story part of rescuing Metachan, which I did beforehand because it boots you out of the dungeon that way. And boop. I just love tap Swinub. You don't want to hurt the good old boy. Good old Pigmole boy. And it's something that you can find in the post-game that you don't find in the main game is traps. So there's traps that can trigger, and they'll do various things to you. Some do damage to you, some teleport you around, some decrease the PP of your last used move. A lot of things. But just like a lot of other things in this game, you can also predict where the traps are going to be and when the traps can go off. Because sometimes you step on a trap and it doesn't activate. I used a trap right there, a warp trap actually, to warp me straight to the stairs. I think that's pretty cool. Oh, okay, the stairs are right there. I like brain farted for a half second. When you're learning like runs, it takes a lot of brain power, to be honest with you, to like really commit these to memory. Because like it's really hard for me. It took me a lot of like tries to commit the any percent route to memory, basically. And even then, I don't get it right all the time, as you've obviously seen with the run I used, the run I had today. But like, especially when you get to post game, it's so hard to memorize everything that you need to do, especially these like 100 basically 100 floor dungeons that you have to go through. Oh, hi Abra, how's it going? I always make that mistake, I swear. And the thing that makes Alakazam so good for these kind of dungeons is that, first of all, he has 80 health at level 1, which is insane. I don't know who thought of the reason to give him that much health, but like he has it and it's amazing. The other thing is he also has teleport. I mean, like we've seen how broken teleport is. So like, Alakazam is usually our go-to option to deal with level 1 dungeons. There's other people that like use Charizard if they want to do it the more regular, I guess you could say regular approach, but the more casual approach of using Charizard and using Heat Wave to deal with monster houses, it's especially helpful for Purity Forest, which is like purely grass type for most of it. And there's some scary Pokemon in here, like, this is why Wish Cave is so bad. You have Hitmonchans that know Agility. What do I do again? Oh, okay, yeah, it's this. You have Dugtrios that can, I think, one-hit kill you with Fissure, which is always a scary thing, especially when you don't, like, see Reviver Seeds that often. It's like supposed to be an end game kind of thing, like the one thing you need to do, like the hardest hurdle you're gonna do is crap, what to do here? Oh, okay, yeah, I do this, is to get through these dungeons, which is it's a huge accomplishment. Like Purity Forest with the No Wonder Mill route or the not the no wonder run route, the no quick saving route is crazy. Stairs are right here. Also, I hope we don't get any monster houses. That'd suck. Oh wait. Well, I guess the stairs are right here. That's fine. All calculated, guys. So this is the only time outside of dungeon we're going to use frustration. Oh no, not kinesis. I didn't need to use kinesis. Use your frustration. So just for a reminder, if any of you guys haven't been keeping up with what's happening, I know exactly what's happening, which is like, if you're watching and you didn't realize that, kind of like takes the little fun out of it. But I know exactly what's happening, so I know what I can do to get to the stairs as fast as I can. Oh, 68 is, okay, yeah, I have to do this because there's so many monsters around. Oh, hey, that's a monster house on floor 69. Wow. Good thing I don't have to deal with that. Gee, you know how much would suck if, like, I would get a monster house and I couldn't, like, go directly into the stairs or, like, warp away from it? That would kind of suck. Oh yeah, I probably should have said that you could start the timer when I got in, but I hastily went in because I thought I was crammed on time. That's okay. Okay, that's cool. Oh, it's okay. No, this is fine. This is fine. Perfect. That was totally what I meant. Oh crap. Oh crap. You know, let's just do that. We'll figure something out. We'll get there. Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Everything is fine. When I get to like the like floor 80s or the 70s, I forget what I'm doing because it's just so much to remember sometimes. To jumpstart my memory a little bit. And just like that, we're almost like, we're majority of the way through this dungeon. And we're only level 2. I wonder if we can one-up that. I wonder if we can get through a level 1 dungeon and only be level 1. That'd be cool. I wonder if we can do that with Purity Forest. Hint, hint. Totally not scripted or anything. The good thing about Wish Cave, though, is the floor layouts are not as bad as you would think they would be. Like, yeah, it's a level 1 dungeon, but its floor layouts are pretty tame. Not gonna lie. This is gonna not make sense, but it's okay. I know everything. I should be good on health. Like, you can't see on the minimap right now, because, like, I barely feel anything in. Excuse me. But there's so many enemies that are spawning now, that, like, it's hard to get to the stairs unless you're teleporting around. Oh, and I'm running low on health. That's okay. So, we are at the 99th floor. We are ready to fight the Jirachi. And Jirachi isn't a pushover. He has decent health, and he can definitely screw our garbage up if he so inclines. So right now I'm going to set Frustration. I'm going to do this and teleport away. This setup is to allow me to hit Jirachi a crap ton of times, and him just A-attacking back to me, which is nice. And then when he future sights, I'm going to stall him out a little bit, just so he doesn't attack me with future sight, and that I can just get the final hit on him. So guys, what do we want to wish for? What do you guys want to wish for? We can wish for like a Pokemon. We can like any Pokemon. I guess we can wish for money, a friend area, or something good. What do you guys want? You guys want some items? Or do you want some money? A good PV, good RNG. You know. I'm thinking we want something good, you know? And I think we want something good, you know? Let's do something good. We'll see what's... Okay, it's done. We can get home safely. We can, okay, I guess so. Sky Tower that doesn't have Aerodactyl. Me too, man. Me too. Oh, okay, and then we just get out of the warp zone. Easy. Alright guys, let's see what our something good is. I'm feeling good about our something good. This file is on one of my any % files. Let's see what I got. I got an unknown Poggers, dude. Aged Chamber of AN. Let's do. There you go. Exactly fit. Alrighty. Alright, so now we're gonna go back to this and run it back to my good old pal Purity Forest. If you want, you can start the timer. You can reset the timer and start it just so we have like a Purity Forest IL going on. I'll give you a minute if you want to set that up. Yeah, imagine if we would have gotten Kecleon. That would have been so clutch. But like, I don't think you can get Kecleon unless you get everything else before. And just when I hit this yes button, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Purity Force is a whole different beast because we purely, we can't physically bring in items, so we have to find items that we can use on our way over. So I'm gonna quick save here. This time there's no fancy magic, we just quick save on floor 1 and plow through it. But Purity Forces definitely have a higher echelon of, like, attention to detail, I guess. I wouldn't call it skill, I just call attention to detail, because you really need to move in the way that it tells you to, or the way that you think you should. And I'm moving in such a way to, like, avoid me hitting traps more than anything. Traps are so bad, especially like PP0 traps that can just P0 my teleports away. No one wants that. This one I have a little bit more experience with because, like I said, it's in the actual all-icon speedrun. So I actually have to do this every time I do an all-icon speedrun. Okay. Already flubbing movement, that's okay. I have to pick up this. I have to pick up this grimy food for safety's sake. If I run too much over my belly, I have to eat it. And this one, there's just some very precise ones. Like, I can't go through this first entrance or I'm going to get a Skarmory in my face, which isn't fun, ever. I originally thought Sudowoodos just couldn't move because I couldn't tell that they were sleeping. But then I learned that they're just sleeping, and you can't tell they're sleeping. So, Keck shops are very prevalent here, but I'm obviously not going to go to any of them, because I can't really steal from them. That'd be cool to incorporate that kind of thing in a run, though. But, not today, at least. That'd be some drawing board kind of stuff. There you go. Anytime I'm moving, like, it seems like I'm moving very junkily. Yeah, okay. It's because I'm trying to get around a Pokemon that's very prevalent in the floor. And it requires some pretty precise movement. Like this, if you move wrong, Poliwag just snipes you with Hypnosis, and it's just not a fun time. Oh, and the theme of random weather comes back in Purity Forest, because everyone likes good old Sandstorm. It's a staple. Oh, I should have done this. That's okay. Oh, Spinarak, don't slow me down. Unfortunate. That's okay, though. As you can see, we have to conserve our PP usage pretty well. Because we don't have max elixirs or infinite max elixirs to go off of anymore. It's over here. I know it's over here. There you go. This is kind of a cool floor because we had to pick up a Quick Seed earlier, if you remember. And I'm just going to use this to go Speedy Boy. And not have any of these guys touch me. Because at this point, we're on floor 37. We're level 1. And we're not killing anything anytime soon. So we just have to, you know, rough it and see if we can just walk through this dungeon without killing a soul. Pacifist run. Oh my goodness, I can't even. It's just good that at level 1 this thing's really bulky. This is when it starts to get pretty tense, because, like, every little movement matters. Because we eventually see some, like, Ariadoses that had the ability to one-shot us. I've had many runs die that way. This is where I'm eating our Big Apple, by the way. And this is a scary thing. Sonic Boom's definitely a thing that happens. And can definitely kill you. Also, shouts to the Frosty Forest music. Yeah, and this is also a 99 floor dungeon. This is like the epitome of the hard dungeon. Walking in with no items, walking in with nothing to your name. Like, just to put in perspective, in this 99 floor dungeon, I have to do more floors than I do in the entirety of the main game, basically. These two combined. You're kind of hearing the music change every once in a while, and you're kind of getting homages to, like, all the main game musics that we've heard. Okay, just get in there, please. Am I? No, I'm doing this right. I had a mini heart attack because I thought I was doing it wrong. There you go. Yeah. Alakazam, he just floats off. He just floats up the stairs, dude. Now, the stairs are right there, but we really can't get to it very well. That's why we do that. It's hard to walk right into those stairs. Teleport. So you can kind of see like how bad these floor layouts are getting. Like, these are really hard floor layouts to like find the stairs to when you're playing this casually. I didn't mean to step on that. How many times? I have enough teleport PP. I can do this. So this is going to get really weird really fast. This is what I'm talking about, where I have to move weirdly, because if I just gun for those stairs, I'm dead to leash life. Synchronize actually helps a lot when it comes to like these kind of dungeons where you can just get really bad RNG really quickly. Okay. Have a nice day. Okay. Bye, Soul Rock. Like, you can see how bad these floor layouts are. I keep... Okay... There you go, I had method to the madness that was happening. I have one... Okay, yeah, I teleport and use the elixir here. There you go. We're almost there. We have a couple more floors. Unlike Wish Cave, this actually only has 98 floors, because the 99th floor is when you get Celebi. And this is a really scary section. Just because, you know, you never want to be at low health, ever. And that is Purity Forest time. Well, I thank you guys for the donations that we've received. Let's name this after the man, the myth, the legend himself. Bam. There we go. Well, this is where I am done, but stick around because we have tons of cool runs to follow this. But before I leave, I just want to plug a couple things. Of course, my Twitch channel, I try to stream when I can. I'm a full-time student, and I just try to do it when I can. But you follow me at Likeanoob100. Also follow a couple other people that are really good PMD runners, especially Whom is DS, Mozzarella Cheese, and Halk. Those guys are really cool dudes that all make amazing content for this game. And if you have any, we also have a Discord. I plugged it earlier in the run, but if you didn't hear, we have a Discord that's open to anybody. You don't have to be a speedrunner or PMD. You don't even really have to like want to speedrun it, but if you just want to be within a community of people that love Mystery Dungeon, that love to play it and love to watch it, then we have something just for you, just like for you. Hit me up on Twitter at Likeanoob100, or find any Mystery Dungeon speedrunner and ask them, and they'll be able to hook it up for you.
And before you go, I should read out the donations that I totally
got you.
Thanks to Cinderdog, $20. He said, "Let's go, Jakob." I don't know what that means, but
okay, so 30-second history lesson. This guy named Cold War Run, amazing PMD speedrunner. He's German, has a really thick German accent. My IRL name is Jacob, and he calls me Jakob because he can't pronounce J's for some reason. And it's just kind of stuck.
That's amazing.
Thanks, Cindy.
And also thanks to Seamus. I'm not gonna get this. Seamus Tokyo for $10, and they funded both of the donation incentives for your run. So thanks a lot. It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate showing off all the Mystery Dungeon has to offer.
Yeah, thanks for the run. That was awesome. I love this game. I haven't played in forever, but it just flooded me with memories. So thanks for the great run.
Yeah, I hope the marathon is a success throughout. Seems like it's doing well right now. I wish its best. Anyway, I am super hungry. I'm gonna go get food.
All right.
See you guys later.